Guys, I did something bad. I had made myself a promise that I was not going to buy any more books until I had read at least 5 of the ones currently piled up on my bookshelf. Spoiler alert, that did not happen. To explain, I'm going to rewind all the way back to April and blame this whole debacle on Mara Wilson. So, as you may know if you've watched any of my other videos, I have been excited for Mara Wilson's book for months. I pre-ordered it all the way back in April and I've just been waiting for it ever since then. But then finally came the day of release, the 13th of September, and I was so ready. I was expecting the postman to just drop it off at my house that day. And I waited, and I waited. And suddenly I had a terrible realization, which was that when I pre-ordered this book back in April, I was living in London, and I have not updated my address to where I now live in Oxford. It was a bloody nightmare. I then desperately went onto the Amazon website to try and fix it. Luckily it said it had not yet been shipped, so I wouldn't have got it on that day anyway. That was very optimistic. But then, horror, when I tried to reorder it, it said it was going to take 1 to 2 months to be delivered. I can't wait that long. I'd already been waiting 4 months, I couldn't wait another one. So I realised I was going to have to do this the old-fashioned way and go into a physical bookshop, which I haven't done for a while, and let me tell you, it is a dangerous experience. But before we get there was another complication in this plan. To get to the Waterstones in town, I could either take a bus, expensive and slow, walk, what is this, the 1800s, or cycle. Doesn't cycling sound like the nicest option? You would think that, if you knew how to ride a bike. Here's a little fact about me. I am the only person I know who actually forgot how to ride a bike. I tried, I got onto the bike, but I was wobbling all over the place, and I was screaming, and I couldn't take one hand off the handlebars to indicate, and if you're cycling on a road, you need to be able to do that. So I knew this just wasn't going to work just yet. And so, if I want to go into town and get this book, first I need to learn how to ride a bike. I'm so nervous. Yes, that's right. At the age of 25, I had a lesson in how to ride a bike. I wish I had filmed some of it because it would have been hilarious, but I was way too busy concentrating on being terrified to film anything. So just imagine my scared face wobbling all around Oxford. That's kind of what the bike lesson looked like. And then I did it. I got onto my bike, I cycled all the way along the river, I got to the Waterstones without killing anyone, falling in the water, without any disasters. Except for the disaster that happened when I walked into Waterstones. Now, you know I said that I haven't been into a physical bookshop for a while? Yeah, I had forgotten what a different experience it is. When you're just seeing titles flash on a screen, you can tell yourself, it's okay, I'll buy that later. But when you're in a bookshop, everything is different. There is something so powerful about seeing a book in front of you and being able to touch it with your hands. You can't just walk away from that. So, it happened. I bought a ton of books. But you know what? It was worth it because I am so excited for each and every one of these books. So even though I definitely was not supposed to buy those books, now that I have, I might as well show them off. First off, we have the book that started it all, Mara Wilson's Where Am I Now? Mara Wilson, of course, is this gal, the actress from Matilda, Mrs. Doubtfire, and my favourite, Miracle on 34th Street. But these days, she has moved so far beyond that. She has become an amazing writer in her own right. She's one of my favourite people on the internet, and I am so excited to hear what she has to say about growing up with this childhood fame and how she forged her own identity aside from that. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty excited to hear some stories from the Matilda set as well. Next up we have The Sellout by Paul Beatty. This one has won and been nominated for a whole load of awards. I've heard such amazing things about it, and it is the first book club pick for Christina Marie's BookTube Speak Up Club, which I'm really excited to be joining. Next up, I bought Nutshell by Ian McEwan. I've read quite a few Ian McEwan books before, I've always really enjoyed them, and this one, the premise just sounded so strange and unique and intriguing, I had to buy it. It is a murder story told from the point of view of an unborn fetus inside a womb. What? That is one of the strangest things I've ever seen, but I'm really excited to see how Ian McEwan pulls it off. Then I bought The Woman Warrior by Maxine Kingston. This was one of the feminist orchestra picks a few months ago and I didn't get round to it, so I'm really excited to read it now. It's the memoir of a Chinese-American woman growing up in the States but hearing stories from her mother about the China that she grew up in. And as well as being about culture and identity, it's also about feminism and the role of women in these two cultures. This next one I've been looking forward to for a while, and I just completely forgot the publication date had passed, and it was the first one I saw when I walked into Waterstones, so I just got so overexcited and I couldn't resist. This is The Wonder by Emma Donoghue. Emma Donoghue is the author who wrote Room, and this one sounds just as gripping. It's about a young girl who claims not to have eaten in months, and yet she is surviving. And it follows the nurse who is assigned to watch over her, look after her, and try and uncover the truth. And then finally we have I See You by Clare Mackintosh. Clare Mackintosh wrote the book I Let You Go, which I read earlier this year, and it was absolutely brilliant and absolutely terrifying, and I really, really recommend it, but you have to just brace yourself for one of the scariest books ever. I was literally holding my breath and like gasping throughout it. So I'm going to be honest, I didn't even look what this book was about. I knew she was writing another one, and I knew that the second it came out I was going to get my hands on it, and here it is. Let's have a quick look and actually see what it's about. Okay, wow. So it's about a woman who sees her own photo in the classified section. The next day the advert shows a photo of a different woman and another woman the day after that, and she has to figure out what's going on. That's very intriguing. I will let you know what this one is about and how it is the second I've read it, which will probably be very soon. So that was my accidental book haul on a bike that definitely wasn't supposed to happen, but I'm kind of glad it did. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment below if you have read any of those books, because I would love to hear about them. And subscribe to this channel for new videos every Friday. See you next time! I'm going to make some autumn sangria. 2 apples. This seems dangerous. Help. This book will have you punching the air in feminist triumph and punching your pillow in feminist despair.